All right, our focus for learning for this lesson is I can simplify exponential expressions using the rules of exponents. So we've been talking about the rules of exponents. Today you're going to do some practice problems and I'm going to guide you through them. Just so you know, this assignment will be graded for correctness. So if there are 10 questions and you get 2 out of 10 correct, your grade in progress book is going to be a 2 out of 10. So make sure you are paying full attention. All right, so here's our first problem. The directions say to fully simplify, and then we get the expression x squared y cubed times the quantity 16x cubed y to the fourth. So remember, when we're multiplying expressions with the same base, our rule is to keep the base and add the exponents. Again, remember that rule only works if you have exponential expressions with the same base. So here I've highlighted the different pieces, different colors, and we're just going to go through piece by piece. So here, the 16, I have highlighted that in green. That's our coefficient. So in a problem like this, you're just going to multiply your coefficients like normal. There is a coefficient of 1 in front of this x squared y cubed. We just don't normally write it like that. But for this purpose, if we add the 1 in there, now we know we need to multiply 1 times 16 to get our coefficient in our answer. So 1 times 16 is just 16. Now we're going to use our rule. So first let's look at the yellow pieces, at the x's. We're going to keep the base, so we're going to keep the x, and we're going to add the exponents. So you want to figure out what is 2 plus 3, and that will be the exponent on your x. There, 2 plus 3 is 5. So far we have 16x to the fifth, and now let's look at our y's. We have a y cubed and a y to the fourth. So remember, this is y cubed times y to the fourth. So we're multiplying with the same base. You're going to keep the base, add the exponents. 4 plus 3 is 7. So if we take this expression and fully simplify it, our answer is 16x to the fifth, y to the seventh. All right, again, here's another one, the same thing, 8xy times the quantity x cubed y. So again, let's look at the coefficients. We have an 8, and we know that there is a 1 in front of here, so 8 times 1 is just 8. Now if we look at our x's, you might get a little confused here because, okay, multiplying expressions with the same base, keep the base and add the exponents. Well, what is the exponent on this x? When there is no exponent written down, we assume that the exponent is a 1. So here, this is a 1. Again, this y would have a 1, and this y would have a 1. So now we can go through and use our rule. So x to the first times x cubed. Remember, keep the base, add the exponents. So this should not be a 3, this should be a 4. Let me fix that. So x to the fourth. Because remember, keep the base, add the exponents. And then y squared. We kept the y, we added our exponents. And now your answer is fully simplified. Remember, fully simplified means no negative exponents. So in a few problems here, we're going to see that come up. No negative exponents in your final answer. All right, here again, fully simplify is the same thing that we've been doing. We're going to look at it piece by piece. First, you want to look at the coefficients, negative 13 and 15. You multiply those like normal. So on your calculator, I need you to multiply right now, negative 13 times 15. When you do that, you will see that negative 13 times 15 is negative 195. So that is our new coefficient. Now looking at the x's, x to the third times x to the fifth. Remember, keep the base, add the exponents, so x, and then 3 plus 5 is 8. And then same thing for the y's. Keep the base, add the exponents. So y to the third times y to the fifth, that's going to be y to the eighth. And now our answer is fully simplified. We have no negative exponents, and we are done with this problem. All right, so those were all multiplication. Now we're going to go into some division problems. And here you can see the directions say fully simplify using only positive exponents. So our final answer cannot have any negative exponents in it. All right, we've worked with dividing exponential expressions before, so the rule that we know is when we're dividing exponential expressions with the same base, we keep the base but this time we subtract the exponents. All right, so we have 9x to the 8th, y to the 4th, over 3x to the 7th, y to the 6th. So just like in this previous problem where we took our two coefficients and we multiplied them like normal because this was a multiplication problem, we're going to do the same thing here with our coefficients, except instead of multiplying them, we're going to divide them because this is a division problem. So your coefficients, those numbers that are just out in the front, we are going to just divide those like normal. So 9 divided by 3 gives us 3. So we know our new coefficient is 3, and it's going to be in the numerator of the fraction because the bigger number's on top. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 goes up top. Now if we look at our x's, x to the 8th over x to the 7th, again, keep the base, subtract the exponents, so we get x to the first power. And then same for our y's. Keep the base, subtract the exponents. So y to the 4th over y to the 6th is y raised to the 4 minus 6 power, which is negative 2. So right now we have 3xy to the negative 2nd power. Is this fully simplified? And the answer there is no. This is not fully simplified because we have a negative exponent left there. And again, if you look back to the directions, it says fully simplify using only positive exponents. So now we need to use our rule of negative exponents. Remember, y to the negative 2nd power is the same thing as 1 over y squared. So if your negative exponent is in the numerator, you're just going to take that base and to the denominator and make the exponent positive. So let's look at that. Here we have 3x times that 1 over y squared, because we said y to the negative 2nd power is equal to 1 over y squared. And now we want to simplify this a little more. Let's multiply across the top. 3x times 1 is just 3x. And then in the denominator, 1 times y squared, because remember, you have like a 1 here. We just don't write it. So 1 times y squared is y squared. And now your answer is fully simplified. You have no negative exponents. All right, another one of the same type of problem. Fully simplify using only positive exponents. So same thing. Here, we have an 8 as a coefficient in the numerator, so we have 8x to the 4th y cubed divided by 1x to the 7th y to the 4th. Remember, there's like a coefficient of 1 down there, but we just don't write it. So now let's go through and divide the coefficients like normal. 8 divided by 1 is 8. And then remember, we're going to subtract the exponents. So when we do that, we get 8x to the negative 3rd, because remember, 4 minus 7, you subtract numerator to denominator. So you subtract the bottom number from the top number. So x to the 4th over x to the 7th is x to the 4 minus 7th, which is x to the negative 3rd. And then y cubed divided by y to the 4th, that turns into y to the negative 1st power. So is this fully simplified? The answer is no, it is not. Now, why is this answer not fully simplified? Because we have negative exponents. Remember, no negative exponents allowed in your final answer. So we're going to go through and simplify this a little bit more. This turns into 8, that stays in the numerator, and then these negative exponents, we bring them to the denominator and make the exponents positive. So over x cubed y. You do not want to write it like this. You don't want to put x cubed y to the 1st. That is not fully simplified because when the exponent is 1, we don't need to write it. So 8 over x cubed y is your final answer. All right, I think this is the last problem. Yep. So again, same type of thing, fully simplify using only positive exponents. 5x to the 6th y to the 6th over 125 x to the 5th y cubed. So same rule. We're going to look at it piece by piece. So we're going to look at the green piece, which are our coefficients, the yellow pieces, which are our x values, and then the blue pieces, which are our y values. So 5 divided by 125. we need to figure out what's the biggest number that divides into 5 and 125 evenly. And we do that, we get the answer is 5. So we're going to divide 5 by 5 to get a 1 in the numerator. And then in the denominator, 125 divided by 5 is 25. So we have a 25 in the denominator here, and then you just go through and use your rules of exponents. X to the 6th divided by x to the 5th. Keep the base, so we're keeping the x. Subtract the exponent. 6 minus 5 is 1. Again, we don't write the exponent of 1 because that's just not fully simplified. Then for your y's, y to the 6th over y cubed. Keep the base, so we're going to keep the y. Subtract the exponents. 6 minus 3 is 3. And now this is fully simplified because we have no negative exponents, so that is our final answer.